Warning: the following episode of That Mental Ginger Show contains strong language and adult themes.
Alright, troops.
This episode of That Mental Ginger Show is recorded at Scuff Studios in Swanston Street, Glasgow. If you're looking to do podcasts, music, or any creative passions, these guys will have you covered. For more information, contact Scuff Studios at scuff.studios.gla@gmail.com or find them on Facebook or Instagram and drop them a message. Scuff Studios, to nurture your creative passions. Hello and welcome to That Mental Ginger Show with your host Andrew Durning, aka The Mental Ginger. Well, my faithful followers, I'm going to have to apologise in advance because I'm going to fanboy the fuck out of this one because this is a guest that I was so psyched to get. He's a writer, he's an actor, he's a musician. He's done so many football parodies that it's had me in stitches in work. So if I tell the guys I've got him on, they're all going to hate me. It is Stuart Hay. Stuart, thanks for coming on, man. I've got to shake your hand. I know we're in COVID regs, but I've got to shake your hand. Don't worry. Like, gingers can't catch anything. We've already got the worst disease.
You've got it, man. I know, exactly.
Yeah.
It's only up to here, mate.
Yeah, definitely. And if this airs after I get cancelled about another 26 times, I think we're all right. So, Stuart, what I like to do with every guest that I get on is that I like to get them to tell us their origin story because, well, the one thing we've all got in common is that we've got an origin. So,
how I was born?
Well, we'll definitely be starting there. I don't need to know what your dad's technique, but
apparently it's a belter.
Was it? Well, apparently that was the same with me since I produced twins. So, but in your own time, Stuart, like tell my faithful followers your origin story.
So my origin story, based on just like how I got into this work and all that carry on.
Well, let's start with the.
How I get bullied in school.
Let's start with the baseline. Where were you born?
I was born in Bellshill.
Bellshill? Oh, Bellshill boy, nice.
Same as like 90% of like. Can I swear on this?
Yo, fire away, man. Fire away. You don't need to worry.
Times.
I swear like a crack addict on speed. It's all right. So how gutted were you when Bellshill get turned into like flats?
Do you know what? Sometimes I want to kind of take a wee drive round. I think about this all the time. I want to take a drive round the estate that's there now and try and like pinpoint the place where I was born. You know what I mean? And just see what would happen. Like I always thought to myself, why don't I go back there? Like my birthday's the 12th of October. And I was like, why don't I go back to 12th of October? It's like respawning.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You're not growing, you're leveling up.
Leveling up, man. You know what I mean?
But I would just love to find out like the patch that I was at and see if it was a house and just walk in and go.
I was fucking born right here.
I was right there, seeing that carpet. My fucking afterbirth dropped out right there.
See me, you're sitting eating your fucking dinner. My mum was squeezing me right.
You're firing at your chicken dippers, and my mum was firing
firing out the ginger fucking dad. I don't know. Fuck knows. I'm supposed to be a fucking actor. I'm a writer here. I know by the way.
Hey, you're definitely not, man. You're gonna boost the credibility of this show to like from -1 to 0.
That's fine. Right. I can deal with that.
Right. So. What got you into the acting side of it in the first place?
I fell into it. It was basically like I've always been like a creative person. I've always kind of been somebody who just kind of wants to work in like entertainment and entertain people and things like that. Like I started like, being a musician. Started playing in bands when I was like 12, 13.
Oh, nice.
And that was that for the majority of the fucking time. But
I know you're a drummer now, but was there any other instruments that you preferred beforehand, or was it always the drums for you?
No, like without sounding like an absolute prick, I can play quite a lot of things.
Hey, I've had musicians on and they don't sound like a prick, but when they say all the instruments they can play, I'm like, man, I would kill to be able to do that.
I'm like a one-man band. I'm like a one-man band.
That explains some of the Ranger sketches, in fairness.
Fucking right, no, exactly.
So what can you play?
I can play. So I started playing guitar when I was 12. And that's originally what I wanted to be, but when we were about 14, 15, our drummer was shite, and I thought, I'll get a bash.
Yeah.
And it turned out I was pretty alright in it.
Nice.
So I was drumming for a few bands, and then it comes and goes, and then singers in bands, and just like I started like I wanted to do anything to be in a band. So if there was a vacancy in any band, I would learn how to do that to fill it, just so I could keep on going and just try and fucking stumble into some band that was going to be great. And that was it. So I was actually thinking about this all day, man. It's been 20 years I've been playing for 20 years, man, and that's
Wow.
terrifying.
It's scary to think about, like, because when I started acting when I was 6, and then I stopped when I was 26, because I was like, 20 years I've been doing this, and the furthest I've got, like I said, what off here was an extra in Gary Tank Commander.
Have you got any like fucking child actor horror stories? And they touch you?
I think I've done successful to repress it.
Never bringing it right back up.
I'm sure that like once I get to that level, I'll just be like, one day I'll wake up and go, oh my
He touched
God.
me.
I thought you were about to ask us, like, did you know any child actors? And I'm like,
Oh no, we're going straight to touching here.
straight to touching. But in fact, I was a fat ginger kid. There was no cunt that was going to touch me, man. I say.
No, but if you've learned anything for the Michael Jackson documentaries, he picks on the ones that aren't going to be fucking
I
like
don't believe
him.
Michael Jackson was actually a pedo, just for the sole fact that if he had the brain of a child, children don't think about that stuff. He would genuinely just probably be thinking, like, I've got a slide in my house.
So I don't need fucking anything else. I've got a slide and an elephant.
I've got a monkey, I've got an elephant, I've got a whole ranch, amusement park. Why would I want to touch kids? I won't have time.
Plus, I can walk backwards. It's fucked up.
Exactly. Like, everybody that's tried to walk backwards has not been able to do it, myself included. It says you just basically asked if I was ever sexually abused.
As a child actor.
You did have a story about the Gary Tank Commander, the Greg McHugh. What's so enlightening?
No, I was just I was saying off air, like we were just talking about obviously like just people like we've kind of worked with and stuff like that, and you mentioned Gary Tank Commander, and I had a flashback of we were at so there's a BBC Scotland channel now,
Yeah.
so we get invited to the launch of that, and me and my pals
I
started.
thought that was so natural, by the way. It's just like we were invited to the launch of BBC Scotland.
No,
just like he was going for a curry, you know.
I just go for a go. No, fucking, but no, that was terrifying. So me and a couple of the pals that were invited along as well thought it'd be a fantastic idea to get absolutely fucking miraculously fucked. You know what I mean? Nothing could fucking possibly go wrong. I can remember falling out the toilet onto Sanjeev Kohli, who is Naveed from Still Game. And I remember I fell out the toilet, looked up, and he's standing there. I just went, all right. That was it. But the Gary Tank Commander one was like, so he's talking about, and I'm kind of, the thing is, well, actually, the only person I actually was like coherent to that full night was Greg Kempful from Still Game, and Tune the Fat. So I done well with him, but the Gary Tank Commander, I thought his name was Gary. And I was calling him Gary all night until he told me his name was Greg in a very harsh manner.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
no.
So sorry, Grant. Sorry, Grant.
There we go.
Greg.
It's like, he's still not got your name right,
We'll get
guys,
it.
but we're okay. So how did you get into like the BBC side of it?
So that's what I was saying earlier. So I'd always been like a creative person. I always wanted to fucking kind of just entertain people and like entertain myself, if anything. And it got to a point when I was like 26, 27, where I'd done the band thing for about 15 years, and it was annoying me. It was annoying the shit out of me. It's when you're in a band, you're relying on like 3 or 4 other people to have the same enthusiasm about it as you do, and all it takes is one of them to say, I don't want to do this anymore, and the full thing fucking goes.
Yep.
So that happened to me countless fucking times, and I thought, do you know what? I want to do something different. I want to do something else. And I remember, this is actually how ridiculous things actually can be. I went for a pint with my pal, just sitting in a beer garden, just having a pint on like a Sunday afternoon, and I went, I want to try writing comedy. And my pal went, I've got a camera. And that was it.
And that was it.
And that was it.
In fairness, like, for any of the guests that don't know and if he's doing, what the hell are you doing with your lives? Stuart is an absolutely brilliant football parody writer. He is fantastic. I was saying to him off air, just legitimately not blowing smoke up his arse. I was watching some of the sketches again just before I came out, and I was like, this guy's coming on my podcast. This is going to be fucking brilliant.
Thanks very much, man.
I mean, because your writing is so witty and it's so grounded and down to earth.
Thank you.
Because a lot of people think that, like, you know, when you're a writer, and they're like, oh, I'm witty and clever, and I will do this, and they will laugh, and we all go, what? But it's stuff that we're literally having a banter about and talking about, like, in our work or in one of the best ones is your workies sketch. The 2 workies that go in the van, and they're just bantering about the football. That happens everywhere. It's so relatable, and especially the one when St Mirren knocked Rangers out the cup. I was absolutely buckled watching that, because I'm a Celtic fan, and he just recently brought out a one that was brilliant when he was saying that we could still win the 10 in a row, we could still win it, and the guy's drinking out of bleach. What? Because he really, really is just like, kill me now. Every Celtic fan was thinking that. What? So getting to see that one sketch, with the Rangers St Mirren thing, blew me away. But there was another one I wanted to deliberately bring up on here that I thought was brilliant, was the two guys that are just sitting there like, is he coming?
What the fuck is
I
that
said
one?
I said he was coming. He said he was going to be here.
Right.
But he always says that and he never makes it. And it's two Celtic fans, and then it's just the Rangers fan is coming. He's like, all right, he's going to make it this time. He's going to make it. And he just trips. Oh, he's done it again. And I just remember thinking, this guy's fucking hilarious.
Thank you, man.
Because it was through like one of the BBC socials.
So that's how I started. So I remember being completely and utterly. This is a true story, by the way.
I'm hoping everything's been a true story. My credibility's going to get shot to hell. Like the whole 30% of credibility I've got.
Well, it's about to go down to 25.
Hey.
This is what I'm saying. This is how fucked up things can work out and how things can actually go if you just kind of take the fucking leap and take the dive.
Yeah.
I remember it was 5 o'clock in the morning. I was horrendously pissed, right? And it was at that point where I didn't really know what I was doing with my life anymore. I was feeling as if I was getting to an age where I should know what I'm doing, and the music thing wasn't working out for me, and I didn't know where else I was going to go. And I came across BBC The Social, and it was an application form. And I remember I must have filled it in.
Yeah,
I must have filled it in. Can't remember. But
did you fill it in when you were pissed?
Filled down at 5 o'clock in the morning. Pissed,
wow.
Pissed as fuck. Right? The only thing I can remember of it was it said, why do you want to do this? And I legitimately wrote, because I'm 27 and I haven't got a fucking clue what else I'm going to do. And then 3 days later, I got a phone call, and I was in the BBC fucking studios, and they went like that. It was your application. I went, I can't remember what I wrote.
Well, that's the secret to getting into the BBC.
Well, there's many secrets to get into the BBC, but we won't get there.
We're talking BBC Scotland, not just the BBC in general. Don't do a Savile.
There's a dungeon. There's a fucking dungeon. That's me sacked. Cancel.
No, well, I've been cancelled for ages, man. It's fine. I do know a couple of guys that work for the BBC Social, so I'm going to fire a couple of names and see if you know them. Yeah. So Chris Thorburn.
I do know Chris.
Chris is brilliant. Well, I went to.
He's like proper up though.
Yeah.
He's like an actual legitimate comedian, man.
Yeah. I went to acting school with him.
Did you?
Yeah, Collins Coogle's theatre school back in the day. And I remember when he told me he was going up to Ayr for uni to study, and I was totally heartbroken because
he's leaving you.
Yeah, I was like, he's leaving me because we were such good pals. And yeah, but I was so happy to see how well he's done.
I know him, but I don't know if he knows me.
Yeah, he knows you.
Is he?
Yeah, because I told him you were coming on.
Tell him I'm asking him.
Yeah, I will do.
He's really good. He's like
he was on like my very first series when I didn't have a clue what the hell I was doing.
Right.
And he very graciously gave up his time to come on for me. And I'm like, I need to do another proper interview with him so he actually knows I've gotten better since then.
He's got very cool hair. I'll give him that.
He really does. And I like that he still kept some of his American twang accent even though he lives in Bothwell.
What is he? Is he American?
No, he's not.
So is he just? Did he just put it on?
The irony is, he wasn't the first guy that I ever met that had an American accent, but was actually Scottish. Have you ever heard the band Flood of Red?
Yes, I've got a Flood of Red story.
Oh, I've got plenty of them because I know every band member for Flood of Red.
What's his name again?
Callum
Doris.
Aye,
Callum Doris.
American but grew up in Airdrie.
I'll tell you if you don't mind me saying so. I used to play in a band called Haywood.
Yeah.
Right? Back in the Airdrie Home Centre, which was the greatest fucking. Airdrie Home Centre was the fucking greatest place in the history of fucking great places, right?
Yes, it was. I remember going to see Flood of Red when I was absolutely pissed on my 19th birthday, and running up and getting a picture with Callum and Chris because I was like, it's two American speaking guys that live in Scotland.
Exactly.
And they're both my mates.
Because Callum in those days, from California, but he moved here when he was 2, but still has the most fucking gnarly accent of all time.
Chris basically said to me the only reason he had an American accent because he watched too much TV as a child. And from that point, I knew he was going to be a comedian.
Wow.
Because I was just like, that's absolutely brilliant.
So there's a story. So this place, people don't know this place, right? So there was this, literally a community centre in Airdrie, and it put bands on every month. But see, because there was nowhere else for MD to go, the place was packed out every fucking month.
Yeah, we always went there because there was nothing.
Nah, I was like 15 years old playing to like 500 fucking people.
Yeah.
And it was like the coolest fucking thing ever. So Flood of Red, They used to be called the Psychotic Pandas.
Yeah, I've still got a TPP t-shirt. Yeah, I was brilliant because I had Callum and Jordan on in my first series.
Jordan Spears.
Yeah, Jordan Spears. They were meant to be coming today, but sadly other commitments didn't work out.
I guarantee
but
you
But
do not
that is what
remember
happens when they, when they become famous.
I remember one time, so Enter Shikari played it. Right?
Yeah.
And Ollie Sykes was shagging a lassie for Airdrie. Right, for Bring Me the Horizon. And I remember being there, and the boys were like, there's that boy for Bring Me. And this is like 2006, so they weren't really in at the time, but they were still a band. Yeah. But I remember being there, and like he was standing at the back, he's fucking just standing like that. Like, what the fuck's he doing here? He was shagging a lassie for Airdrie. And now they're like one of the biggest bands in the fucking world.
It's crazy to think about, man. It's unreal.
So the Flood of Red story, and they'll never remember this. They probably won't remember the band that we played in. So
no, they'll remember you, like, because they remember some stories about me that they told on my podcast. And I was like, oh.
Well,
man.
These guys were like, they were the fucking height, like they were the fucking guys, right? But my band had like this wee local buzz, and we were doing well. So we got to headline a night, and Flood of Red were going to support us.
What was the name of your band?
Haywood, right?
Haywood.
We were nothing, right? We were young laddies, but we were doing well. And
I didn't know about you though because I was an Airdrie boy.
Well, that's all it was. People for Airdrie and Cobras, and then we went to Sneakies, also the greatest fucking place of all fucking time.
Oh
greatest
man,
I've got a few Sneakies stories.
I am building like a harem of like Mormon like husbands and wives, so you have to marry me now.
So Flood of Red went on and played, and we were like, fucking, we're going to headline Flood of Red are supporting us, right? As soon as they came off, one of them pulled the fire alarm. You fucking bastards, I'm still raging. And the gig got cancelled, and we're like, what the fuck? We found out one of the Flood of Reds.
I can see it's going to be, that would have been either Graham Griffith or Dale Gallagher.
That's the story
that
anyway.
just sounds like something that they would do.
That's the story anyway, and I'm still fucking raging.
Oh man.
We never got to play.
In fairness, like the story that they surprised me with from like the when I was doing like my first series, I was just ranting in there. I thought I'll have a couple of people on, and Jordan and Callum again, like very graciously, took the time to do it, and they surprised me at the end by like, oh, what's your favourite Andrew Durning moment? Because we went to high school together, and like, I'd seen them all like grow, and like we're always really good pals, and we used to go to like the Airdrie Academy like gym hall. Right. Or like the big kind of hall stage, and we had the random idea of like jumping off the stage, see how far we could jump and who could go the furthest.
Right.
So all the chairs were lined out. So like Jordan like jumped maybe like 4 stairs, like Callum jumped like 5 or whatever. So then I just decide this wee fat ginger guy in a Limp Bizkit hoodie just volleys off the stage. And the way I landed on my right foot, but my ankle went over, and I went straight through the chairs. And what Jordan was saying, it was like watching it in slow motion, just seeing this wave of ginger hair and chairs, and we were like, Durning, and all he says when he comes back up was, how far did I jump? And I remember hearing that, and I was like, oh man, that is such a...
How did you forget that? Did you forget that story?
No, I just hope to never say it.
Who would ever forget that fucking story?
The one that I did get back with, and it was... because we also did drama together, we were in the same drama class, and I had like a massive hard-on for the teacher. What really did. And they decided to like rip me in a sketch saying that I had a small penis.
Right.
The quotes was Stumpy Dick.
You're lucky that didn't stick. That is a name that could easily stick.
It was something that should have stuck, but I think because I embraced it afterwards and I said I bet and shot Byro's bigger than mine. It didn't really stick. But at the same time, she was watching it, and my face with my same colour as my hair, I was fucking beaming.
I'll tell you something. What I found is like, see anybody like tries to like slag you or give you a nickname, see if you embrace it, it takes away everything.
Yeah.
So they don't get to do it anymore.
Yeah. Did you ever have a nickname at Sneakies?
No.
Because I had a nickname at Sneakies, and again, it revolves around a penis story. So there's
see a pattern going here, man.
Yeah, there's definitely a pattern. I really should be in jail. And it was because when you think of the ticket, you do air guitar and I was air guitaring, but because I never really played the guitar, I used to think it was like about the strumming.
Oh, so it looked as if you were fucking chugging away?
Yeah.
Literally?
Yeah, definitely. Which is ironic because I'll do a Thomas the Tank Engine podcast.
Top Chuggers? Is that what it's called? That's a sketch, right? A purely innocent fucking a couple of L guys like making all they want to do is talk about trains, but they've called it Top Chuggers. And they've no idea. You know what I mean?
Right, you've heard it here first, like, and if he doesn't get me on this, I'm fucking going to sue him.
Aye, that's fucking good.
So yeah, I was like doing that, like, and he went, "Oh, I've got your nickname now, Scratch."
I'll take Scratch.
I was like, I took Scratch, I ran with Scratch.
No, I was too busy in sneakies. I used to do a thing which was the most ridiculous thing I've ever to do, and I highly don't recommend it, especially now. So sneakies used to be the dearest fucking place of all time for drink because we were underage. By the way, we disclaimer, this place was the fucking greatest rock club that ever existed. Simply because...
And ever will exist, in fairness.
Only because you got in it when you were younger.
You got into it when you were like 14.
14, 15, right? So we used to go down when we were like 16, 17, right? And I remember they charged you £4 a bottle of beer, but you paid it because you fucking paid it.
Yeah.
So I'd wait for people to go and buy rounds, then go up dancing, then I'd steal your drink. And it backfired on me one time though when I took a big drink of somebody's pint and they'd been sick in it.
Oh no! In fairness, that could have just been the latest cocktail. But I used to have a game of sneakies and it was guess the age.
Oh fuck, man!
Because when I went to sneakies when it first opened, I was legal. And if you're single and you're trying to pool,
oh, you were fucked.
You were especially in there. I remember a lassie was talking to me, and I was like, "This is weird." A lassie's actually talking to me, and she went to kiss me, and I stopped. And I went, "You got ID?"
No, you fucking CID.
And she went, "Are you fucking kidding me?" I was like, "I know this place. I know what it's like. How old are you?" And she told me, and I was, "What?" And she was under, and I was like, "No, I'm not going to jail. See you."
No.
And it was the same deal. Me and my mates would always go in and be like, "Right, guess the age." And I was like, he's like, "I think she's legal. I'll say 18." And I'm like, "Oh no, I think she's about Robin's age, about 14." And then we'd go up and then we'd find out, and then we'd be like, "Right, if you won the bet, here you go, get the drinks in." Did you ever play Chuck Norris at Sneakies?
What's Chuck Norris?
Basically, there would be you'd sign up to play Chuck Norris, and
you could sign up.
Yeah, you sign up. Like the DJ would
put my name down for Chuck Norris.
Yep, definitely sign up for Chuck Norris. And you would go up, put a name up, and what he would do, he would just carry on with the gig. At any time you shouted Chuck Norris, you had to leg it to the bar to get shot.
Right.
And if you were the last person there, or you didn't make it in time, you had to do a forfeit.
Right.
So anytime he shouted Chuck Norris, you're legging it and grabbing the first shot you can get, knocking it back. Right. And the forfeits could be something like ridiculous as like doing the chicken dance to the bare necessities in the middle of the dance floor.
That's fuck all.
Which was nothing to and this being sneakies, like, you know, getting sprayed with one of the soda waters, so you'd have to take your t-shirt off for a wet t-shirt.
Listen,
it could be anything like that.
Right.
And that was my only claim to fame, that I never got caught with Chuck Norris.
There you go.
The only person that never got caught. He tried once because he saw me going to the toilet, but thank fuck I had stage fright. So he shouted Chuck Norris. He was like, "How the fuck?" He's like, "You should be midstream."
I'll tell you, like, I think about sneakies often, like,
yeah,
and I think about how this place existed and how they got away with it.
We need to do a documentary about it.
I would fucking massively, I'd love to. I've seen some of the most fucking deprived things in my life in sneakies. I remember, like, they had, and as it says, everybody was underage, but majority of people were underage. They had a wet t-shirt competition.
Yes.
These lassies were no older than 17. Right?
If you were lucky.
Right? I remember fucking somebody getting pumped in the fucking back corner whilst the guy whilst the guy handed me a joint. You know what I mean? Come on. You alright?
Is it in mid-shag?
Mid-shag. This is when you can. I can vividly remember it because you could smoke inside back then.
Yes.
And I can remember
the smokers' corner.
You have no idea. I can remember vividly this cloud of smoke and this arse just going. Right? And then this guy just go back to me. This guy just fucking handing back. I'm like, I thought it was like, oh, you alright? That was sneakies, man.
That was fucking. Did you ever get in when they opened the top floor?
Aye.
And ironically, they would just have like hot dogs lying down.
I just fucking they fed you, you know.
I know.
It
was like they tried to like do that bit up there because they wanted to see it as a bit classier. And I was like,
class is not the word.
Like, it doesn't work in sneakies. That class did not work.
Did you never hear about the bouncer and all?
Yeah.
Right.
The one that locked the girlfriend in the boot of his car.
Aye.
That was in my dad's pal's estate.
Without this might come across extremely racist, but we're definitely not meaning to be.
It's definitely not meaning to be, but we're just stating the facts as they were presented to us at the time.
This guy was a spitting image of the old Celtic player Reggie Blinker.
Yes.
So we called him Reggie Blinker. You know what I mean? And we found out like fucking a couple of years ago that fucking he was a guy who fucking kidnapped a lassie, locked him in her boot, and we're like, did you want him to Reggie Blinker?
Yeah.
It's like, what
Well,
the fuck?
all of a sudden, poor Reggie Blinker's like, oh no, it wasn't me.
I know. So fucking.
So
this is the type of people that were associated with this club.
But the best part is, we spoke to him all the time.
All the fucking time.
And he was such a sound guy. He legitimately was, guys.
I
We
remember.
didn't know any of this. No one said a bad word about him. He was such very pleasant, very nice person. We'd always talk to him. He'd ask us how we were getting on, and all that kind of stuff.
And
I think he liked us because he knew that we were the only ones that were legitimately legal going into sneakies. And then I always remember it was my mate Billy messaged me saying like, "Did you hear what happened?" And I'm like, "No," and he just sent me the picture of his mugshot, and I'm like,
That's fucking him.
I was like, what did he do?
What the fuck, man?
It was crazy,
There was
man.
another, like,
Unreal.
can you remember there was a bar woman who was easy in her 60s?
Jess.
Fuck, I just get
Jessie.
the worst flashback ever, man.
Yes.
She was so fucking nice. She was so sound.
I love
I
her.
mean, she's easy dead now. She's got to be
really
dead
hope
by
she's
now, man.
not.
I mean, and then thing as well, like the DJ Fryer.
Fryer. Yes.
But this guy was the fucking greasiest fucking
Uh,
bumblefuck cunt you've ever seen in your life.
that was the guy who gave me the nickname Scratch.
What is it? Fuck.
Yeah.
But I remember, like, so.
Remember he had the tip book?
Well, this is exactly what
Yes,
I was going to say.
the tip
He would
book.
get lasses. Lasses would go up. Remember, these lasses are under fucking age.
Half
And
of them were my exes.
Can I get a song? Show me your tits first, and lasses would fucking do it.
Exactly.
This happened on this fucking club.
Oh my
You've
god.
got shagging in the corner, drug use in the corner, fucking underage illegal fucking drinking, L cunts at the bar, people on the door that would fuck you in a fucking car boot and a drappy a fucking hat, all within a place the size of this room.
Yes. It was
With the greatest fucking tunes of all time,
Oh.
though. What a fucking...
See, anytime you hear Metallica Whiskey in the Jar, do you instantly think Last Orders?
No, but I will tell you, it goes from... anytime I hear Soil, Halo, and they go,
Yeah.
"Oh, ah!" straight after it, because it's going to go into Disturbed. It's going to go into fucking Disturbed.
Exactly.
All because of Sneakies.
Yeah,
You know what
it was the fact they had the set list up on his website.
I mean? Aye.
Like,
Oh.
you just knew that was the songs that were always going to come on all the time, and it just every time goes
Aye.
my little halo.
Oh, wow!
Right.
Every still to this day.
Oh
But
my
saying is-
god, it was unreal.
So it was basically it was the Coatbridge and Airdrie equivalent of the Cat House, but it's like if the Cat House was written by Irvin Welsh. That is Sneakies, man.
Holy fuck! I think I'm gonna have an aneurysm. We have so went right off topic, but this has been fantastic.
Just man, I've been waiting to talk about fucking Sneakies and that. Oh my god, that's
my
all I was
God.
meant to talk about for the Red and the home centre.
Yeah, but it was crazy. Like,
So anyway, I get any right.
did you ever perform at Sneakies? Because I remember
Yes,
they
my very, I've got a picture. I'll try and show you it later on.
Yeah.
I've got a picture of me, 14 years old, and I joined. There was a band called Blackout at the time, and they were like a thrash
Blackout?
metal. Aye, they were like a thrash
Well,
metal band.
I've just seen our audio guy Hilly's eyes just light up at
Aye.
the thought of Blackout.
So I was really good. I'm still really good pals with the guys with Blackout, but I remember like.
Oh, we've got to do a reunion show. Get his back.
I've tried to do it, man, so many times. So they needed a drummer, and I was like, I'll drum, but I'm 14 years old, right? And I can remember distinctly, it must have been a Sunday night. I had school the next day, and I told my mum I was going to stay with a pal to go to school next day. I wasn't. I was playing Master of Puppets at 4 in the morning in Sneakies. You know what I mean? And singers, I remember
man.
they fucked I've still got the picture. They fucked a Tammy on me to make me look older. I'm
Yeah.
sitting there with a Slipknot t-shirt on, big pair of baggy jeans, and a Nike Tammy. In this picture, and the excuse was, "I'll make you look older."
Just the Tammy.
Aye.
Oh,
So that's
my
aye.
God,
So
man, that
I
was
did. I
crazy.
got to play Sneakies. Aye.
Oh man, that was brilliant. That's absolutely brilliant. Did you ever do the Rocky Okie when we were there? Like they used to have the Saturday night rock karaoke
No,
for
but
a little while.
I remember they used to do Guitar Hero.
Yes.
Aye, I remember
Did
that.
you ever do the air guitar contest? And you'd get like
Forgot
the
that, man.
and you got like the pishiest t-shirt that you that could.
No, it was actually a pishy t-shirt.
It was
Probably.
literally,
It was probably a
bro.
t-shirt drenched in piss.
Yes.
You win the pishy t-shirt.
But at the same time, you were so happy that you got it. You're like,
I
"Wow."
know.
You were so-
See, when I see pictures for back then, honestly,
Yeah.
like it's a moment in time that will never ever be recreated or understood.
No.
if you weren't in this time, if you were not somebody who experienced this place, you'll never understand it.
No, definitely
You know what
not.
I mean?
It was unreal.
Aye.
What some of the stuff that happened. Like, I mean, most of the time, like, I was already paralytics. Because you drank before you got there.
Aye,
Like
fuck.
me and my mates were the classy ones. We went behind and drank like drank behind the Airdrie Town Hall because I was a theatre guy. I had to,
back to my roots.
back to where I belonged while we're sitting like drinking bottles of Smirnoff Ice, thinking we're the ticket. And I'll show you a picture later on. And it's my 19th birthday again, like just before we went to Sneakies. And it was me and a 14-year-old Chris Thorburn as well.
Really? Has Chris been to Sneakies?
Yes, he's been to Sneakies.
Fuck me, man.
He will deny it, but I have photographic evidence. He once went on Halloween dressed as a Frenchman.
Nice.
Like, proper like onion like ring, like baguettes and everything. Like, nowadays you'd get cancelled for that. And my mate went as party boy.
Right.
The Jackass.
Well,
and I gave, but he was like, I don't want to go out. Don't want to go out and have to change that kind of stuff. Like, it's gonna be. So we're all drinking at my house before we went out, and I went, right, you can borrow my long leather coat. Like, so you don't.
Then he just fucking whipped it
I
off.
whipped it off, but it was covered in like spray paint, gold and glitter. I'm like, I can't fucking wear it. My mate's dong has been on this.
I just rubbing inside it.
Oh, it's crazy, man.
Fucking hell, man.
Unreal. Well, so what is 2022 going to hold for you, Stuart?
So,
aside from like the sketch about the
Top
old
Chuggers?
Top Chuggers, which we're gonna do.
I just really like trains.
Because trust me, I've got all the Thomas memorabilia. We filmed the teaser for it, and it's seen it all. And Ross must have been like, "What the fuck are these man children doing?"
Honestly, they could do it right. So it's literally supposed to be the most innocent, wholesome thing ever. It's just a couple of old men who have got really fascination with like trains and like fucking and stuff like that, and but they keep on getting callers in that'll just rip the piss out of them.
Yeah.
Fucking love chugging. I mean, awesome.
We've got to do it because there's so many jokes you can make around it.
There's so many fucking jokes.
Well, I've got the knowledge.
Aye.
I am a top chugger. I would just get t-shirts made like I'm a top chugger.
Okay, now. So 2022, a lot. Well, originally it wasn't going to be anything because I gave up doing the football comedy for a while there because it get mental. It get fucking so crazy. Like, there's a lot of people that don't enjoy it. Put it that way. There's a lot of people who don't understand it's a joke.
And fair, a lot of the stuff that you did right was really good, and I remember you being on Only Excuse as well, like
I wrote
the infamous Orange Order.
With the hands.
Yes. Right, we'll get COVID sorted here. Your style is really good. Don't get me wrong. Some people, if they don't get that it's meant to be in parody or joke, or if they don't like football, or if it's not like their cup of tea, I can understand why they wouldn't do it. But at the same time, and I mean this legitimately, if you don't like it, don't fucking watch it. Because we're trying to make a living here, and especially guys like Stuart, because I have been so psyched to have you on.
Thank you, man.
And you've been
pleasure's mine.
And just getting you on, and having someone else that knew all the stuff that I knew, I did not expect it, and it's been so much fun.
I've enjoyed it, man.
I was like, I think I'm going to end up having a heart attack at 36. I'm 34 now. But yeah, I really do hope that you get back to writing the football comedy because there is an audience there.
Well, that was the thing.
The guys that I speak to, we all love it. Like, my mates are going to be so fucking jealous when I show them this. And they'll be like, how did you get him on? And I'll be like, well.
He asked me.
I said, would you like to come on? And he said, yes.
So the thing is with this, right? So for anybody creative, like, be it try to be an actor or a writer or like a musician, you're like, the holy grail of that is to make something that connects with people. Like, that is all you ever want to do, and it's the hardest thing in the world to do. The amount of times I was playing in bands and like trying to write songs that would connect with people, and it wouldn't work. But the football stuff worked, right? Yeah. And it's terrifying how well it fucking worked, and it got a bit fucking crazy and it got a bit mental. But I took some time out and I started thinking about, like, I can't turn my back on finally finding something that worked. I just needed to make it work for me. So in 2022, I've rejigged a few things, coming back to it with a new angle, and we're working on some stuff. I can't tell you what we're doing now. No,
that's fine. But hopefully, when things do happen, if you've not been totally traumatized by this experience, I would love to have you back on.
Of course,
get me on for Top Chuggers, definitely. Like you've definitely got we've definitely got to do that.
Aye.
We've got to try and get a documentary going for the Sneakies years.
Aye.
What?
Well, sounds like, if anything, I really will. I've came up with all these ideas about like fucking fake adverts and things like that. Like fake
Yeah.
adverts are always really fucking funny, right?
Yeah, definitely.
And,
I used to love the fake adverts. Man.
Exactly, man. So one thing we're trying to do now is like try to find like puns with like football things. So like a Rangers chippy called Shrimply the best. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Shit like that. And Orange Walk. But
Yeah.
it's like Orange Walk and it's like Chinese.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
definitely.
And shit like that. And what was it? I came up with a really shite one. It was I know it was a Celtic themed chip shop called the Fields of Athen Fry. It
Yes.
was shite. So the shite are the better.
But you've also got like obviously the San Siro, the chip shop in Hamilton.
Do you?
Like,
Have a
you had that one as well. I remember.
my knowledge of Hamilton chip shops isn't up to date.
I mainly know that because it was an only excuse sketch in 2004. So
Was
it should
it?
be shut by now. But
So it's
yeah.
like my extensive knowledge of fucking chip shops outside Coatbridge isn't the fucking best.
Yeah. Well, I barely know I barely know chip shops in general. I'm just like, right, give me a pizza. I'm alright
Fucking
with
right.
that.
Aye.
Well, but yeah, or you could be Doma hellos.
Oh, I see, shit like that, man. I mean, perfect.
There we go. That's probably the shittest thing I could come up with on the fly. But if you start as that as your bottom bitch,
I've
and
got
then you
a
can work
fucking
up
list.
from there.
I have a list. I've also, but we're going to. I've had this idea for ages, but I've never
Yeah.
had the chance to do it. But we can maybe do it in here.
But-
It's a
Not
food.
putting you on the spot, Ross or Matthew, but I'm pretty sure the guys would be up for it.
It was like a food. It was like see the kind of like JML adverts you get of like fucking try to
Yeah.
punch CDs, and it's like fucking compilation albums, right? It was
Yeah.
a compilation album about food based bands, and we were called Burger Van Halen, right? And fucking okay, man. Burger Van Halen. So we'd have like fucking UB40. I've got Stew Babe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And fucking and things like that, and like there's Hunter, mate. I've got a fucking full list. And
We've definitely got to
aye.
get them lined up, man,
And
because it'll
we're
be
going to do that. And singers, there's like, so there's an actual Madonna song called "Lucky," "Take Me to the Lucky Star." There's a
Yeah.
Lucky Star Chinese.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
we're going to do fucking bits like that and just like try and punt t-shirts for that.
Yeah.
Who want a Burger Van Halen
I
t-shirt?
know. Well, these guys definitely have a great story
Right.
about a fence kebab, and I'll tell you about that.
A
off air.
fence kebab.
A fence kebab, and I'll tell you about it once we're done.
That's fine.
But I know, like being in the arts, like, and the amount of kind of
The
rejections-
arts.
the arts,
There's
the
a
arts.
fucking Neo.
It's hey, we don't slag Kung Fu Jesus in this house.
There used to be a band called Kung Fu Jesus.
Exactly.
Aye, have you ever seen him?
Yes.
He was fucking great.
Brilliant. That's why it's not an insult to Keanu Reeves. They're brilliant.
No.
But I know that we also have like sometimes we get it's a very much it's a business where everything is shit and you constantly get rejected. Well, it really, in my case anyway, it totally destroyed my mental health.
No, I can totally understand that.
Well, so it's a good segue for like the final question.
Mhm.
Well, if you could give one piece of advice to anybody that's struggling with mental health issues, what would that piece of advice be and why?
Talk. Definitely talk.
Yep.
If anything, like I've had a year of tough mental health, and it was something I never expected to kind of deal with.
Yeah.
It just came out of nowhere, and I didn't talk about it to anybody, and it made it worse and worse and worse and worse.
Yeah.
And when I did finally open up and tell people, the amount of people that came to me saying, "Mate, I feel the exact same way." I was like, "Why did you never say?" They went, "Well, why did you never say?"
Mhm.
And that would be the only advice I could ever give you. Talk to anybody. Just fucking light on them, man.
Yeah, definitely, man. Definitely.
100%.
Well, and it's one of the reasons I do the podcast is trying to raise a wee bit of awareness about mental health, but also getting guys like yourself on. We have a bit of a laugh, and what the whole podcast. If we could take that wee bit of time where they don't think about things for a while, and they can just have a laugh and
Aye,
have a bit of
tune out.
banter. Yep, then it's worth it.
Definitely.
So my faithful followers, what I'm going to do this week is actually skip Ask Andrew Anything because we have had such a great laugh on here. Like, we've shared so many stories. I really don't think there is a need because
I've heard it all.
you've probably found out so much about me from this section of the podcast than anybody is ever going to ask me in the segment. Stuart, man, I really, really do appreciate you coming on.
No,
Like,
the feeling's
like,
mutual, man.
I wasn't just blowing smoke up your arse. I'm a big fan of yours. Like,
Thank
I
you.
love your work. Like, check out his YouTube channel, Stuart Hay. Like, I do. It's fantastic work that he does. Like, especially if you like your football parodies and all that kind of stuff. And even just because he's a sound guy. He's a sound guy.
On camera.
Well, don't get me wrong. You're going to get me cancelled for sure. But
Oh,
I'm
100%. I
Well,
mean,
but-
if I'm going down, you're coming with me.
yeah, this is the Titanic of podcasts.
You fucking better believe it. That's my
Yeah.
life, man.
But man, I really do appreciate it. Thank you
No,
so much for
pleasure's
coming
mine,
on.
man.
So until next time, my faithful followers, I've been Andrew Durning. This has been the funny as fuck Stuart Hay. So until next time, take care, stay safe. Bye bye.